justice. There's an incident in my life when I read that passage that I think of. I've shared before with you that when I was 20 years old, I went and worked at a rescue mission in West Virginia. And there was an incident that happened there. The director of the mission was far more fundamentalist than I would be. But man, he had a rough exterior. Like if you met him and you connected with him, you might go, this guy seems a little rough around the edges. Why was he in that role? Well, I found out one day because I found out what kind of heart beat in this guy underneath. I'll never forget it. There was a guy who was kind of a known, recycled drunk in the town. He had once been a very successful businessman in this community. His name was Jim. And I remember that the director got a call one day, and I was working and heading up the men's program for him for a summer. And he got a call one day that this guy, Jim, was at a park that was across the river. The mission was right on the banks of the Monongahela River in Fairmont, West Virginia. And right across the river was a park, and that he got a call that this guy was drunk on a bench over there. Now, seeing drunk people in a mission is like seeing candy in a candy store. I mean, that's what you see. That is what you deal with every day, okay? So it's not an anomaly at all. In fact, if you do that for your whole life, you can very easily become very callous to what you see every day. A doctor doesn't go through a hospital and isn't overwhelmed at sickness. Like he has to be the kind of constitution where it doesn't overwhelm him, or else he won't be able to do his job. So it's a very fine line between being not overwhelmed and simply becoming somebody who's callous and cynical to it. What I found that day was a reason why this guy was successful. We went across, and this guy is on a bench, and he was a rough customer on steroids. I mean, this cat was crusty with a capital C. He's sitting on a bench, and my boss at the time, Bob was his name, walked up to him and started talking to him, and was firm but gentle in kind of a paradox with him. And he ended up getting this guy into the program at the mission right from that bench. And that guy moved and shifted in a couple of months that I was there from a crusty cat to a thankful man. And I watched it happen. But it all started because this guy that could have stayed in his office and said, yeah, there's a guy, oh, you're kidding. There's a guy drunk on a bench across the road? Hello? There's guys drunk all down, up and down this river. Tell him to come into the mission if he wants a night's sleep. Tell him to come if he wants a meal. He knows where we are. He's been here before. Same verse again and again and again. Instead, he said no. And he got up. And when he connected with him, there was a kind of compassion that settled in this guy's life. And it was staggering to witness. And I'll be honest with you, for me at that moment, quite surprising to witness. But I saw what it meant in a moment like that to sit with a tax collector. I saw what it was to sit with somebody, to sit on a bench with a drunk and to be present in the situation and to feel it and to be used by God. And I watched it drawn out. See, these guys don't have a category for that. They don't have a category for it. So you can look at people if you want that rub you wrong, and you can look at people who are culturally outcast, and you can let that sort of sit in your craw, and you can gripe about it, and you can talk all political about it if you want, and you can talk all about in terms of legislation if you'd like to, and you can get on chat rooms and boards and post your thoughts about it, or you can sit with. This is what makes Christians supposed to be different. Unfortunately, a lot of us are still too politicized, can't get there. But we're supposed to be different because we're supposed to be able to look people in the eye and value them for who they are in their eyes. Right? And Jesus comes and says, you know, guys, you don't understand because Ezekiel 34, you can't get past verse 10. And I'm here to get past that. I'm the good shepherd. Gives his life for the sheep. You need to go where people are.